dumb. I hung up the phone with her and I called Drew after I told her to call Drew.
Hey, Hannah's going to call you.
So I hung up the phone after the second ring and texted him. I was like, I hope you're talking to Hannah, but this is what I'm doing. So,
I knew she was going to CrossFit like in the mornings when we were there, you know, and Drew said at one point, she said, I'm not going to be a sick person. Mm-hmm. You know, so that how much has that got to do with just not, we're rabbit trailing a little bit here, but like she just didn't give up.
Right.
And how much does that help in a situation like that?
Yeah. And it was killing me that I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Just to be down closer and help with the kids. And so I set up a meal train, and of course the church just became the church, and friends from all different walks of her life stepped in and really helped out with food and just making sure that they had what they needed. So,
well, when you're that kind of good to people and then your moment of need comes, people are there for you, and that's not why you do it, but like that's the church, like you said, church being the church.
Yeah, capital C church for sure.
Yeah, there you
go. Definitely. Well, I hope I haven't missed anybody. Bergdorf's, Burgess's.
Drew, you writing these all down? You're supposed to cross them off the list as we went through the names.
Butts, McCaskill's, Wiles.
Are we going alphabetical? Is that what you just did?
I tried, yeah.
Okay.
That should be. I hope I'm not missing anybody.
To leave anybody out. If she leaves you out, it's because we brought her here, stuck cameras and microphones and shine lights in her face, and she just honestly forgot. It wasn't like she meant to.
No, not at all. And if I think of you while I'm still doing this, I'm just going to randomly
we'll just roll it back around and throw the names back out there.
Yep.
And, but these are people like you've slept on their couch, you know, and they've...
Or watched their kids.
Yeah, watched their kids, and they've, you know, contributed to your life in one way or another. And hearing the story, you know, it's just a fantastic example of church people doing church stuff. Because nobody had to. None of those people had to do any of this stuff.
No. And they were the capital C church for sure for me growing up. I mean, I love my family, and we have a fantastic time together. It's always super loud. But the church was kind of just an important part in my life, and kind of helped me make me who I am, basically.
Yeah. Well, that was... you know, you all these people that contribute, and it's great when you have parents and family and maybe siblings, you know, and they raise you up right and all that stuff. But you were the child that was raised by the village. You know, when we talk about it takes a village to raise, well, like you're the example of that. And then that grows you up into somebody who can manage, you know, being married to a college football coach, you know, and I said at your wedding there were two types of college football coaches. There was those who had been fired and those who hadn't been fired yet. You know, so you're going to get canned one day and you're going to have to move all of a sudden, or a job's going to come open and it's, you know, you pack up and leave. And he was here a week before you recruiting kids, or maybe 2 weeks. It's at least a week. Okay. And then he's going to be here after you're gone again and he's recruiting kids. So like, that's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
But this entire journey has brought you to this point and made you a person who can do this.
Yeah. And if you ask, so my best friends, Casey and Anna, both matron and maid of honor with Hannah Wiles at my wedding, and Tanya Bergdorf will tell you that I have always said that I wanted to marry a college football coach. And I don't know, I mean, the Lord listens. He listens to what we say, and Drew's over there raising the roof. Okay. But all three, Tanya and Casey, Hannah included, Anna, they'll tell you that I always was going to marry a football coach.
So let's talk about what a college football coach is. When we think about college football, you know, we got Chris Pyle behind the camera here tonight. He's a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Okay.
You're a Texas A&M Aggie.
Yeah.
You got Drew. I'm wearing a Notre Dame hoodie tonight after we dogged the Catholics last week.
That was our $5 Walmart special for
right.
you.
It's good stuff. So like that's what you think of though when you think of college football, right? You're Alabama or you're USC or you're Florida. Like people don't think about Hutchinson Community College or the Peru State Bobcats.
Go Bobcats.
Yeah, for sure. No, God bless them. But like, is that what you had? And like, did you consider that part of the journey?
So I think some of it was, but and the bigger schools was kind of where I originally thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, you the smaller, even the Hardin Simmons.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, like the smaller schools are not what people think about.
Right.
And yeah, there's an entire Division 2, Division 3, NAIA.
Yeah.
NJCCA is looking at me because I can't remember if I said all the initials correctly.
NJCAA, right?
CCA?
The Jayhawk Conference. Go Blue Dragons.
Yeah. So there's lots of different conferences and lots of different ways to be a college football coach.
Yeah.
Now I wasn't thinking I wanted to marry a coach of the
you
Aggies.
weren't trying to marry an NAIA coach. That's not what.
But yeah, and even all the things that are involved with it, I still am learning every day, every new season, every year, and even at every school. So.
Yeah, but it's a character thing, right? Because not anybody could just do that.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, you go, well, you know what? Just get a real job because I'm tired of moving every 2 years.
Right.
And going, it's not like being in the Army at all. The part where you move a lot is a lot like being in the Army. Where you have a job until the staff gets fired or you get a better job somewhere else.
Yeah. And my family will tell you that I am the last of them that would have ever moved out of Arlington because I was so invested in First Baptist Arlington and this city and my family. And like, I made an effort to go see I've got 5 siblings and they're all kind of spread out over DFW.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's a 45-minute trip to see some of them. And I made efforts to go do that. And so they would not have ever believed that I would be the one to leave and even go to Abilene.
Well, you couldn't have it both ways, right? I mean, you couldn't be married to a college football coach and stay home.
Right. So even when I left to go to Abilene, it was kind of a shock that I was not going to be living in Arlington anymore. But it's kind of exciting. I mean, I didn't think it would be at first, but just going and doing new things. I mean, he and I are the best at finding the tiny areas of towns and the free things to do or the cheap things to do.
You have to, right? You guys live in Peru, Nebraska.
Yeah, you got to make it your own.
You know,
I mean, we were just talking about before we got started, our favorite waitress at our Tuesday night spot. Sent me a text and said, I miss my favorite
picture
Tuesday
of
night couple. So
empty booth in the restaurant.
Yeah, I mean,
sadness.
We just got to make it our own, and I think we do a good job of that and finding all the quirky things and the fun things of all these places. So small towns are good because there's a lot of festivals. They do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Small towns typically have a lot of history.
Right.
I mean, the college that we work at was
it 1890 something?
1867.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
the oldest college in the state.
Yeah. So, and we're an hour from the oldest town in Nebraska.
Yeah.
So we definitely, and we don't mind driving. I mean, that's some of the funnest times we've had. Yeah. We drove to Minneapolis, Minnesota over the summer and came upon Minneapolis's, and I say that wrong. I just learned that I say that wrong.
Minneapolis's? There's just the one Minneapolis.
So I've been saying Minneapolis.
Yeah, like Indianapolis.
Which is not correct. It's Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I was adding an extra syllable. But we found their largest candy store. It was insane. There were life-size people hanging. Well, they're not people, but they were life-size figurines.
So worried about where that was going.
No, hanging from the ceiling. I mean, every type of candy you could have possibly imagined, except for Butterfinger BBs, which.
They're overrated.
Yeah, well, and they're discontinued. We'll never find them, but we always look. But yeah, taking the drives around.
Drew, is this place better than the joint in Savannah? Yeah. Okay.
It was huge, massive. Like we probably could have spent an hour walking the lines.
And this was in Minneapolis.
No, this was in. I don't remember what town it was in. It was
someplace in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Mankato.
Yeah.
There's a Division II school there, he says. All right, yeah.
That's how he knows what towns are, by their schools. So yeah, just driving through places is.
You guys got to go. I was a little jealous. You guys got to go to the Field of Dreams.
Yeah, when Drew has told me when he took the job at Peru State that he was super excited he was going to be that close to it.
Well, that's what we do when Drew gets a job somewhere. Like when he moved to Kansas, we're all like Googling what is there to do in Hutchinson, Kansas. And Hutch was a cool town, but you got Wichita close by, right? So what's there to do in Wichita? Well, then he moves to Peru, and I'm like, oh, we got to find stuff to do in Omaha so you won't be bored while, So
College World Series. Hello.
Yeah, absolutely. So you look for all these things, and it's not, the highlight of the day, Drew says, in Peru, Nebraska is when the crop duster flies over.
Oh, my word, that man loves the crop duster.
That guy's like Top Gun in there.
And I was on the phone with him when he lived there before I got there, and he would tell me that the guy went over the electrical line on one side of the 2-lane highway
and
went under it on the other side. And